One day, Jun-u was playing a video game when something terrifying happened. Suddenly, everyone in his live stream chat started spamming him with the same message. "Run, get out now." At first, he thought it was just a prank from fans, but then he received an emergency alert from the National Disaster Agency. And right after that, he heard a loud crash outside followed by screams from downstairs. Confused, Jun-u walked out to the balcony, and what he saw left him completely shocked. The outside world was in total chaos. People were flooding out of buildings in a panic. A fire truck crashed out of control and then he saw someone on the street biting another person. Jun-u froze. He had no idea what was going on. Just then, a woman rushed to protect her daughter with a kitchen knife in hand. But the moment she got close, her own daughter lunged at her and started biting her like a wild animal. Jun-u watched in horror, completely stunned. And just when he had no idea what to do next, there was a sudden loud knock at the door. He looked through the peephole. Everything outside seemed normal again. Curious, he reached for the door handle. But the moment he opened it, a man barged in. Startled, Jun-u backed away. It was his neighbor, Sang-chul. They weren't close at all, and Jun-u's first instinct was to kick him out. But Sang-chul refused to leave. He begged, "Let me use your bathroom. I'll be out right after that." With no better option, Jun-u reluctantly agreed and turned on the TV. That's when he finally learned the truth. A mysterious virus was spreading through the city. It turned people into raging zombie-like monsters, and anyone bitten would be infected, too. Jun-u started to panic. He remembered there was blood on Sang-chul's clothes. Frightened, he began looking for a weapon. Right then, Sang-chul walked out of the bathroom. Jun-u grabbed a knife and shouted for him to leave. Sang-chul insisted he was fine, but in the very next second, his eyes suddenly turned blood red. And then, something terrifying began to happen. Facing Sang-chul as he charged forward, Jun-u's adrenaline shot through the roof. Using all his strength, he finally managed to shove Sang-chul out of the apartment. But just as he slammed the door shut before he could even catch his breath, the noise he made attracted something even worse. Outside, Sang-chul was pinned down by a much larger, terrifying zombie. Seeing this, Jun-u froze, too scared to make even the slightest sound. Once the zombie wandered away, he quickly dragged the refrigerator over and blocked the door tight. Immediately, Jun-u tried calling his parents to find out if they were okay, but no one answered. Thankfully, not long after, his mom sent him a message, saying they were safe for now. She told him clearly, "Stay indoors and wait for rescue." When night came, Jun-u took stock of the little food he had left. He initially split the food into 7 portions, but after reconsidering, he divided it again into 9. No one could predict how long this chaos would last. The next day, he saw videos online of people asking desperately for help. Inspired, he decided to record his own plea, hoping someone might notice him. But soon, his hopes were dashed. He noticed that some people had even begun live streaming their desperation. If someone out there could help, they would have done something by now. Then Jun-u saw his drone and suddenly had a bright idea. He tied his phone onto the drone and sent it out to check the situation outside. But what he saw through the drone's camera was truly horrifying. The entire neighborhood had become a zombie playground. Not a single survivor was visible. Feeling hopeless, Jun-u decided to distract himself by playing a video game. But just as he started the game, he was suddenly disconnected from the server. Apparently, the zombies had started destroying parts of the internet, too. Since he couldn't play his game, Jun-u figured he might as well get some sleep. But around 2:30 in the morning, he was suddenly woken up by strange noises downstairs. Curious and worried, he rushed to check what was going on. But the moment he peeked outside, a bullet whizzed right past his head. Turns out a female cop downstairs was in a brutal fight against the zombies. She was tough and fearless, but the sound of gunfire attracted even more of them. And to make things worse, she ran out of bullets. As she tried to reload, one of the zombies lunged and tackled her to the ground. More zombies quickly piled on, pinning her down with no way out. In a moment of pure desperation, she raised her gun to her head, ready to end it herself. But after just a split second of hesitation, she couldn't do it. 2 zombies grabbed her by the arms and dragged her into the parking garage. And down there, it was swarming with even more of them, watching it all from above. Jun-u couldn't take it anymore. He shouted at the top of his lungs, trying to draw the zombies away from her. But it was already too late. Not only did he fail to save her, his shouting attracted something far worse. With a loud bang, the refrigerator blocking his door was kicked open. That big zombie, the one that dragged away his neighbor, was now coming straight for him. Terrified, Jun-u rushed to push the fridge back into place. But against that monster, he didn't stand a chance. Just as the creature was about to break through, Jun-u had a sudden realization. These zombies weren't very smart. So, he climbed over the edge of his balcony railing and dangled himself outside, holding on tight. The zombie charged straight at him, missed completely, and fell right off the high-rise building. Jun-u held on for dear life and barely made it. But as he looked back up, he saw something that crushed his heart. The brave cop had already turned into a zombie. After surviving the chaos, he immediately reinforced the front door. Then he just gave up on everything. He drank his dad's old wine, ate instant noodles when hungry, took naps when tired, and cried in silence whenever he felt broken. But that peaceful misery didn't last long. He soon ran out of food. Just when he was drowning in despair, he miraculously received a voice message from his mom. But the signal was too weak. No matter what he tried, the message wouldn't play. So, he took a huge risk and climbed out the window to find a signal. Finally, he got a connection. But all he heard were his parents' screams as they were attacked by zombies. Knowing his parents were likely dead shattered Jun-u completely. All the pain and sorrow exploded at once. Now, he didn't even want to live anymore. But instead of giving up quietly, he needed to let it all out. He opened the front door and started swinging his bat at the nearest zombie. He made loud noises on purpose, trying to attract more of them. When there was no response, he even stepped outside, but the moment he walked out, a massive wave of zombies came rushing toward him. Jun-u, who thought he was ready to die, got scared for real. He ran like crazy, but the other side was also packed with zombies. He quickly pressed the elevator button, but the next second, a massive swarm of zombies came rushing in. Then Jun-u quickly dove behind a pile of junk and narrowly escaped the danger. Once the zombies were gone, he sprinted back home. But just then, he heard something behind him. Luckily, that zombie had been blind when it was alive and didn't see him. Jun-u seized the moment, rushed into his apartment, and slammed the door shut. The zombies were immediately drawn to the sound. Surprisingly, some of them still had faint memories from their human lives, and even tried to open the door. Thankfully, they gave up after a while and left. That night, after getting his revenge on the zombies, Jun-u recorded a final video. He was ready to say goodbye to the world. But just as he was about to take his last breath, a red light suddenly shone through the window. It came from the building across the street. In that instant, Jun-u realized he wasn't the only survivor. He struggled to untie the rope, then quickly looked toward the red light. To his surprise, a young and beautiful girl was standing across the street. She pointed at him with disgust and called him an idiot. But instead of getting mad, Jun-u felt strangely happy. He couldn't help but wave at her excitedly. The girl used hand signals to tell him they'd talk again tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Then both of them returned to their rooms. Just like Jun-u, the girl had been living alone since the virus outbreak, but she was way better at surviving. She strictly rationed her food and even set up traps inside her apartment to take down any zombies that wandered in. The next day, they exchanged names. The girl's name was Kim. By then, Jun-u had gone a whole day without food. He held his stomach in pain. Kim noticed his situation and decided to send him something to eat. Her plan was to tie a string to a baseball, throw it across, and use it to connect the two buildings, but she underestimated the distance. Luckily, Jun-u realized what she was trying to do and used his drone to fly the string over to her. It worked, and soon Jun-u received Kim's food package. He finally enjoyed a good meal. But right then, something unexpected happened. A zombified firefighter noticed the baseball tied to the string. Jun-u immediately warned Kim. As she rushed to untie the string, the zombie yanked it hard, slamming a table into Kim and knocking her out. Even worse, this zombie still had the skills from when he was alive. He started climbing the building. Jun-u grabbed a bottle and threw it at the zombie to distract him, but the zombie didn't care at all as it climbed closer to Kim's apartment. Jun-u flew his drone over to interfere. At first, it worked, but the zombie soon smacked the drone down. Just as the zombie was about to enter Kim's room, thankfully, she woke up in time. That evening, a heavy rain began to fall. Both of them rushed to grab bowls and pots to collect water. Kim then pulled out a pair of binoculars and spotted something interesting. The 8th floor of another building nearby seemed completely zombie-free. As time slowly passed, their food supplies ran dangerously low. If they wanted to survive, they had no choice but to go out and search for more. That night, Jun-u wrapped towels around his feet so he wouldn't make any noise. He grabbed his baseball bat and stepped out the door. In the hallway, he found keys on the body of a neighbor. He used them to enter the apartment next door. Inside, he quickly noticed someone lying on the floor. He threw a shoe at the person. No reaction. Relieved, he started searching the place. When he opened the fridge, a nasty smell hit his nose, but thankfully, there were still some canned goods and drinks. He packed them up and kept looking. In the room with the body, he found even more cans and 2 walkie-talkies. Just as he was about to leave, Jun-u made the dumb decision to check out the body more closely. Suddenly, a zombie lunged at him from behind. He grabbed the body and used it as a shield to block the attack. Then, he bolted down the hallway, sprinted all the way home, and slammed the door shut. That night, he enjoyed his most satisfying meal in days. After eating, he packed half the food, and one of the walkie-talkies into a box and sent it over to Kim using the string between their buildings. The next morning, a voice came through the walkie-talkie. It was Kim, thanking him for the food. Hearing another human voice again made Jun-u feel emotional. From then on, they talked every day on the walkie-talkies. Their friendship gave them the strength to keep going in this nightmare. But that day, while they were chatting, they suddenly heard what sounded like rain. Jun-u rushed to the window to collect water. But when he opened it, he froze. There was no rain. It was the sound of zombie footsteps. For some reason, all the zombies had gone into a frenzy and were storming the buildings. The two of them immediately dropped to the floor, afraid to make a single sound. As Kim reached for her axe, she accidentally knocked over a shelf. The noise caught the zombies' attention. They started creeping toward Kim's apartment. She heard their footsteps getting closer and started to panic. Then Jun-u asked for her apartment number. Right as the zombies reached her door, a phone started ringing in the next apartment. The zombies turned and followed the sound. It turned out Jun-u had called the neighbor's phone to distract them. His quick thinking saved Kim's life. Now the zombies on their floor were getting out of control and their food was running out fast. Staying here was way too dangerous. So they decided to move to the floor Kim had spotted earlier, the one with no zombies. They began packing up all their supplies. Then Kim quickly secured the rope just as Jun-u told her to let him go first. Kim jumped down without hesitation. The moment she landed, zombies swarmed from all directions, but Kim pulled out her climbing pick and somehow fought her way through the horde. Jun-u watched in shock from above, but just as Kim picked up a handgun dropped by a fallen cop, a zombie tackled her to the ground. At that critical moment, Jun-u arrived just in time. He took down the zombie and pulled her into the stairwell. Once they made it inside the new building, they quickly shut the glass door. Right before the door gave in, they managed to squeeze into the elevator. Luckily, it still had backup power. They had already scouted the 8th floor before, and just as expected, it was quiet. They started going door to door, trying to find a safe room. But suddenly, a lone zombie appeared in the hallway. Seeing there was only one, Jun-u got ready to attack. But just then, a whole swarm came rushing from the stairwell. It was a full-on emergency. Kim dashed to try opening more doors while Jun-u ripped off a gate to block the charging zombies. Just then, a door flung open. A hand grabbed Kim and yanked her inside. Next, a smoke grenade flew through the hallway. A mysterious man appeared and pulled Jun-u into the room, too. They were safe for now, but Kim stayed alert because she clearly remembered this floor was supposed to be empty. The man poured them each a glass of water. Seeing their hesitation, he said he understood. Only after watching him drink it all in one gulp did they finally dare to sip it carefully. It seemed he really was a fellow survivor. Next, he brought out some food. The starving pair immediately dug in like wolves. The man told them to eat without worry. He had just heard on the radio that a rescue team was coming. This news lit up their faces. They were so moved, they nearly cried. Hope was finally here, but Kim suddenly felt something was off. She looked around the room and noticed that none of the family photos matched the man in front of them. Just as she was about to ask him, Jun-u collapsed beside her. Moments later, her own vision blurred and she fell unconscious, too. The man wasted no time. He dragged Kim toward a back room. When Kim woke up, she was horrified to see a female zombie tied up in front of her. It was the man's wife. He had loved her deeply, and even after she turned into a zombie, he refused to let her go. He couldn't bear to see her starve. So he lured in survivors to feed her. The family who once lived here had all become her food. Outside the room, the man slowly loosened the rope holding his wife. Kim screamed and scrambled back in fear. Just then, Jun-u woke up and in a panic pointed his gun at the man, but the man looked him in the eye and calmly let go of the rope. Jun-u dove forward trying to grab the end of it, but the zombie's strength was too much. The rope slipped away. Jun-u rushed to the door only to find it had been locked. A terrible scream echoed from the room. Then silence. Had the zombie finished her meal? The man slowly opened the door only to have the zombie lunge and bite into his neck. Turns out Kim had covered the zombie's head with a pillow and managed to survive. Watching the man still trying to comfort his zombie wife, Kim couldn't take it anymore. She pulled the trigger, ending their suffering. But the gunshot, it attracted a flood of zombies into the building. Faced with certain death, Kim and Jun-u exchanged a bitter smile. They raised their guns, ready to end it all. But just then, a loud rumble echoed outside. They rushed to the window. A rescue helicopter was approaching. Hope came crashing back into their hearts. With renewed determination, they ran out into the hallway. After narrowly dodging the rushing horde, Jun-u used a bike to block the pursuing zombies. They finally reached the rooftop and jammed the door shut. But no matter how hard they fought to hold it, the zombies broke through. Just when all seemed lost, the helicopter spotted them and opened fire on the zombies, pushing them back. The two were rescued at last. At the same time, the radio tower was finally fixed. One by one, more survivors began sending SOS messages online. Because as long as you're alive, there's always hope, even in the darkest moments. Our story ends here. Thank you for watching.